Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about how to stop attracting emotionally unavailable men in your life. How to stop attracting men who are not available to you. And so a lot of times women find themselves in relationships with men who really won't commit to them emotionally. They're not really committed to them, period. They're just in it. You're going through the motions, but you find them pulling away, and then they come back and they pull away. Or maybe you keep finding yourself in relationships where a man is not committed to you, or or a person is not committed to you, but they're not committed to another person either. Maybe you're a side, the side chick in a relationship, and you're tired of being the side chick. You can get into these relationships just to find out he's with somebody else. And he's not willing to maybe leave that person for you. He's not willing to commit to you. Or just keep finding myself in the same relationships. I've been through a lot. Men who say I've been through a lot and just not willing to settle down right now. Or my heart has been broken. I'm not willing to settle down. I don't trust people anymore. What happens to the person that they can trust me and I can trust them? They can give me what I need and I can give them what they need. How do I attract these people in my life? There's something called the law of attraction. We attract who we are. We attract our fears. We attract our emotional wounds. We attract what we do not forgive. For example, maybe you had a parent that was emotionally unavailable to you. Maybe you had an absent father in your life who was physically and emotionally unavailable to you. Maybe you had both your parents in your life and they didn't give you what you needed emotionally. Maybe dad was there, he was here and there, but he wasn't, consistent in your life. And although you moved on from that and you grew up and it became the norm in your life, your need for him to be there, your need for your parents to be there for you emotionally and to emotionally support you, even though it may have gotten suppressed, it created a wound. And usually those wounds create fear. So the fear of being alone again, the fear of abandonment, the wound of abandonment. And so when you have that wound, and some people, just like I said, they go on, but they didn't move on from that. If you're a woman and daddy wasn't there for you, daddy was in and out, or daddy wasn't, you needed your dad and you longed for your dad for a period of time, and the norm was dad's not here and I have my mom. But now what if mom wasn't what I needed, or mom was everything I needed, but I wanted my dad? And when that pain is so deep and you may not even realize it, but you really haven't forgiven your dad for it. You didn't forgive your dad. You just learned to live without it. But the little girl still longs for dad. The little girl still hasn't really forgiven dad. She never even dealt with it because it just wasn't going to happen and I had to move on and live with it. But unforgiveness did form, and I may not realize it, but I haven't forgiven him and I'm attracting him in my life. The men in my life are representing my dad. They're recreating those feelings for me over and over and over again. And so I keep attracting these men in my life. Or my mom, the wound of abandonment. Because when a person cannot be there for you emotionally, they're abandoning you. Or even physically, the wounds of abandonment. And so now I have these insecurities that no one will really ever love me. And I'm not enough, because if I wasn't enough for my mom and I wasn't enough for my dad, then I'm not enough for them either. So I will take what I can just kind of get. So you're going to attract that. How do I break that cycle? One, you have to forgive the person who abandoned you emotionally when you were younger? I have to figure, or is it my ex-husband abandoned me? Maybe it was the very first relationship you had. And although you learned to deal with it and you went on, you didn't move on from it. You didn't deal with it. And now it's showing up in my relationships because I didn't deal with it. Right now, if you're experiencing that, I'm going to tell you right now, if you're with a person who cannot be there for you and they cannot commit to you, and I know we get lonely, and I know sometimes we feel like we're grabbing at straws, and I don't want to be by myself. I don't want to lay by myself at night. I'll just take it. Good Lord Jesus. I promise you, if you can find the courage to lay that relationship down for a while, and you begin to work on dealing with the wounds of your past, when you begin to heal that wound, and you begin to deal with those things, and you begin to heal that wound of abandonment. And sometimes we suffer with multiple wounds. Maybe you was a young person that got criticized all the time. You was always made to feel shamed. Every little thing you did was just wrong. You could never do it right. So now I suffer with the wounds of humiliation and shame. So I keep attracting men in my life who are always criticizing me and putting me down and making me feel like nothing. I keep attracting this in my life because maybe my mother was overcritical of me all the time. She was always setting these standards super high, and when I didn't meet them, shame on you, shame on you, shame on you. You should have did this, you should have did that, you should have did this. And now it's the norm for you to have a man in your life who consistently puts you down and make you feel shamed. And until you deal with that, until you deal with the wounds of your past, you're going to keep attracting that in your life. My book, I Healed on Purpose, will help you identify which wounds you are dealing with. What wounds of rejection are you dealing with? Are you dealing with abandonment? Are you dealing with humiliation, betrayal, injustice? What wounds are you dealing with? Not only will it give you the wounds that you're dealing with, but it gives you the strategy to help cast down the belief system that was developed from those old experiences that caused those wounds. And then you put on a new belief system that helps you attract the person in your life that gives you what you need. Sometimes our wounds tell us we need things we really don't need. You need to be validated. Your need to please everyone. Your need to do this and your need to do that. But when you begin to heal those wounds of your past, you will find out that those are false needs. You don't have to be validated. You will find the power to live your life authentically, unapologetically, and become the person you were meant to be. And you will begin to attract someone who's living their life unapologetically and intentionally become the person God created them to be. I'm going to tell you something. When I begin to heal the wounds of my soul, I attracted different. My whole life began to shift. And I share that process with you right here in I Healed on Purpose, detoxing the wounded soul. If it worked for me, it will work for you. I promise you, if you get this book will change your life. Listen, thanks for watching, and you have a wonderful